Have you ever experienced a moment so strangely specific it stops you in your tracks? Most of us just brush it off as a coincidence. You think about an old friend you haven't spoken to in years, and seconds later, their name flashes on your phone. Or your life hits a wall of uncertainty, and suddenly, the exact same peculiar symbol appears everywhere you look, on city billboards, in printed books, or a passing train. The immediate reflex is to call these moments random anomalies, but it begs a question. Are we just pattern-matching primates finding shapes in the clouds, or is there an actual architecture to these events? These occurrences hijack our attention because they violate the basic rules of cause and effect. There is no physical reason for them to happen at the exact time they do. Dismissing these moments as statistical noise overlooks a broader, invisible web of psychological connection. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung dedicated years to mapping this exact phenomenon. He coined a specific term for it: synchronicity. This framework relies on the presence of meaning. For Jung, the defining factor was the deep, unmistakable resonance an event carries for the person experiencing it. For an event to qualify, it must meet two strict criteria. First, the occurrences must lack any logical, physical chain of events connecting them. Second, they must feel entirely linked to the observer, tying an internal psychological state to an external physical event. Your own perception is undergoing a significant shift. You are noticing patterns that were always there, but only now resonate with your mental state. The stakes in these moments are entirely psychological. A synchronicity is simply your own internal state bleeding out and reflecting back at you in the mirror of everyday reality. To see these reflections, a specific condition must be met. The conscious, logical part of your mind must lose its dominant grip on how you interpret reality. When strict rationalism begins to falter, a deeper, much older part of the human psyche forces its way to the surface. It stops relying on facts and starts communicating in symbols. This psychological vulnerability rarely happens when life is comfortable. It is almost always triggered by periods of extreme stress, grief, or sudden transition. We only become receptive to synchronicity when our standard, reliable frameworks for understanding the world completely fail us. Psychologists and historical alchemists share a specific term for this severe structural collapse: Nigredo. Nigredo translates to the dark night of the soul. It is a phase of profound confusion, emptiness, and total disorientation. This phase is highly destructive. Everything a person firmly believed about who they are and how the world operates begins to fracture. As the conscious ego collapses, the unconscious mind takes over, flooding the senses with repeating symbols. These coincidences are desperate projections of an unconscious mind trying to map a way forward while the ego is dying. Modern pop psychology often frames synchronicity as a gentle nod from the universe, a sign that you are on the right path. These events offer no comfort. They do not exist to guide you toward safety, and they certainly do not grant wishes. The actual function of a synchronistic sign is far more abrasive. It acts as a psychological tripwire, a brutal mechanism designed to force your awareness toward a highly uncomfortable truth. It points directly at the exact part of your current identity that is a lie. It highlights the relationships, habits, or beliefs that are completely broken and no longer functional. True synchronicity is a blaring internal alarm system. It warns you that your current way of being must end so that a more authentic version of yourself can begin. The strict rule of psychological transformation is that it never begins with clarity. The process requires the heavy, disorienting confusion of the Nigredo phase to clear the slate. This leaves a clear directive for the next time you encounter a bizarre, unexplainable sign in your own life. You have to stop asking what reward you are supposed to gain or what hidden path you are supposed to uncover. Instead, you must ask the far more difficult question: what part of yourself are you supposed to let go of? The signals of the universe exist to completely change you.